Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm waiting for our students to be connected to this seventh session for today. My name is Fernando Orbes. I'm UNAT tutor, and today we are going to talk about the present perfect continuous tense. So I hope my students can be connected, and in a few minutes we'll start. Okay. Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening, teacher. How are you?
Fine, thank you. A little bit cold today, but I am fine.
Cold? Here
Cold?
we're freezing.
Yes, I think.
Yeah. If it's cold there, here it's freezing.
I can imagine that. So, but it doesn't snow. It's not snowing.
That's a good thing, though. It doesn't snow.
Okay, better for you because it causes some disasters.
Yes, it's true. And the traffic will be bad.
Ooh, yes, that's why I don't like Bogota.
Yeah, I understand. That's the reason a lot of people move to a different cities.
Yes, actually, because I was born in Pasto and I think it's the same weather, but the city is too much huge. Mhm.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, Sandra, tell me, how are you doing today?
Oh, good. I had a good day. Actually, we were doing some evaluation for this, well, actually for our section, elementary section, primary section of
Oh,
the for the first bimester, and just going through the kids that passed or failed the subjects, and most of them were in English. So
wow.
yeah, it was a hard day, but at the same time, it was good because we were, as a teachers, we have to make sure to help the kids, uh, maybe find out what's wrong, what's going on, why are they failing the exams. But yeah, so we today we didn't have kids, but it was almost the whole day in a meeting.
Okay, so it's always is difficult that kind of evaluations, but and so also it's stressing.
Yes, it is. I have right now like a pain in my neck. So I guess it is stressing.
Okay, some of painkillers and a good massage, and you are gonna be new again.
Yes. Yes, that's true. And a good rest.
Yes, a good rest is. That's what I am praying for, a good rest, but I can't.
Uh-huh.
Okay, okay, Sandra. I don't know what's going on
How
with
was your day?
Diana.
Oh, Juan Sebastian is on.
Juan Sebastian George, welcome to
Yes,
this
sir. Here I
session.
am.
How are
Good
you?
evening.
Hello, Juan.
Hello, Sandra. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good too.
Excellent.
That's
Thank you.
good. Very, very good.
Yes, sir. How are you too?
Oh,
How are you, teacher?
actually, I'm fine. A little bit tired, but it's not your fault. But I think it's I think it's the end, almost the end of the week.
Yeah.
And my body knows it, and I'm a little bit tired, but don't worry, I'm okay.
Okay.
So how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I have been working a lot. At the afternoon, I was playing with the crew, with the teachers team, and I'm so tired too. And I don't know. This is a hard week, and it's gonna be a hard weekend too. But it's okay.
Okay. I envy you because you were playing, but I can't. It's raining all the day in Armenia, so it's a bad weather.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, tell me.
now tell me.
Here in Puerto Salgar is too hot today or tonight.
Puerto Salgar.
Yes, sir.
Someday I'm going to visit Puerto Salgar.
You will welcome.
Okay, thank you. Okay, meanwhile, Diana comes. I would like to Diana connect it very quickly. I hope so. Because today we are going to read something, and we are going to listening. We are going to do some listening, and we are going to speak about the past perfect continuous tense. That's kind of difficult and weird verbal tense, but I found interesting. Although American people or British people don't use it a lot, but it's good to study. Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, I need. Okay, I'm going to check my role. So we are waiting for Wilson Alexander, Diana. I don't know what happened with Hasblady. Juan Sebastian George. Okay. Sandra Milena Trujillo. Okay, so I think we are ready to start. Meanwhile, they connect. Okay, have you ever heard about a poem, Edgar Allan Poe's poem called The Raven?
The Raven? Not sure.
Not? Okay, that's an old poem.
Let me see.
But I found interesting. So
Me neither.
Neither? Okay.
No, sir.
So there you're going to have the opportunity to read it.
Uh-oh.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this poem is very long for me, I think, but here is it's a summary, a good version, I think. But there are some weird words and archaic words, and I found it interesting. If you don't know these words, you can look up into the dictionary, take notes about, or maybe you may know all this word. I don't know. But the first time I watched it and I start to read it, for me it was difficult, but it's not impossible. This is a tale about a raven. Okay, so today we are going to practice our reading skills. So how about George, can you read the first paragraph?
Of course.
The first and the second.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I noted, yeah, it's noted or
Yes,
noted,
noted.
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 Okay, thank you. Nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my. I don't know how I can say or how I can pronounce chamber. Is chamber, Andrew?
That's Amber. Yes.
Okay. Rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor." I muttered it, tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more. The second?
Yes. Continue.
Ah, distinctly I remember it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember rolled its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my book's sources of sorrow, sorrow for the lost linear, for the red and radiant maiden whom the angels namely nor, nameless here for evermore.
Very good. Very
What a
good.
strange read.
Yes, kind of weird, but you did it good.
It's,
There
it's
are
a, it's a,
some pronunciation, but at the end of the poem, we make some corrections. We are interested on reading some
okay,
now, okay?
okay, thank you.
And if you don't know any word, you can search it or look
Yep,
up in the dictionary. Meanwhile,
I'm gonna
okay.
do it.
Can you see, Sandra, the next two paragraphs?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can continue.
And then the silky, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terror never felt before. So that now, so still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor enter, entering entrance at my chamber door. Some late visitor entreating, entreating, ent-
Entreating.
entreating entrance at my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more." The next one.
Yes, the next one.
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faithful you came tapping, tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door, darkness there and nothing more."
Very, very good reading. Okay, that's good.
Thank you.
Are you sure you didn't read before this?
I am sure, sir. And there are words that I have some doubts.
But you can read very good. Very, very good. Okay.
Thank you.
Both of you. So, Carolina, no, is not there. Alexander, welcome. Hello, Alexander. Hello again. Alexander, welcome. Good evening. Mm, don't be afraid reading. Alexander. Okay. Meanwhile, Alexander go back. George.
Yes, sir.
Okay, your turn.
Okay.
This one.
Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again, I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. Surely, said I, surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see, then, what theatre it is, and this mystery explore. Let me here be still a moment and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wine and nothing more.
It's the wind and nothing.
Yeah, 'tis the wind and nothing more. Yes, sir.
So continue with this line.
Okay. Okay. Open here, I flung the shutter, when, with many flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the less obeisance made he, not a minute stop or stayed, but with name of Lord or Lady, perched about my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and said, and nothing more.
Okay, thank you very much. Alexander. Hello, Alexander. Alexander, please, can you turn off your microphone while your classmates are speaking? That's great. Thank you, Alexander. I can hear you. Can you speak? Alexander. Okay. Okay, let's finish with this part. Okay, let's continue. Sandra.
Good evening.
Good evening, Alexander. What's going on, Alexander? I can't hear you. But I can hear your... I don't know who she is.
Your mother, maybe.
Maybe mother.
Mother, yes.
Hello, Alexander. Okay, Sandra.
Again. Then this ebony bird, I don't know that word,
Beguiling.
beguiling my sad face, fancy into smiling. By the grave and the stern decorum of the countenance it wore. Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou, I said, art sure no craven. Ghastly grim, an ancient raven, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonia shore.
Plutonian shore.
Plutonia shore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Okay.
Then, sorry.
Then methought.
Should I continue?
Yes.
Then methought the air grew denser, perfume from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls twinkle on the tufted floor. Wretched, I cried, thy God hath lent thee. By these angels he hath sent thee. Respite and
Nepenthe.
From thy memories of Lenore. Quaff this kind Nepenthe and forget this last Lenore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Okay, thank you. Maybe Alexander, are you online or not? Uh-oh, Alexander has gone. Okay. So finish, George.
Okay. Be that word or singer of parting.
Or
Be
sign
or sing of parting. Parting?
again. Be that word or sign.
Okay. Be that word or sang of parting. Beard or friend. I shrieked. I shrieked.
I shrieked, upstarting.
Okay. I shrieked, upstarting. Get thee back into the tempest and the nice Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul had spoken. Leave my lone lines unbroken. Quiet the buzz above my door. Take thy big from out of my hair, of my heart, sorry, and take thy farm from off my door. Quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven never fleeting, still is sitting, still is sitting or sitting? Sitting.
Still is sitting.
Still is sitting, still is sitting. On the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of demons that is dreaming. And the lamplight o'er him in stream throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
Okay, that's kind of difficult because it's an all English, almost
Yeah, that was
17,
tough.
Yeah,
17, I don't know, 17, 18th century.
maybe.
Yes, there are some words, interesting words that
I think all the text is very confused for me.
Oh,
yes,
yes,
it's
it is for
confusing.
me.
Exactly, it's confusing because it's not the English we know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they can help us in order to improve our reading, and maybe because when if we have the opportunity to travel overseas or visit another country, in some towns maybe there are people who speak like this, because it's like when if you travel or visit Pasto, for example, and the Spanish is different from all cities in Colombia. They still have some archaic words in Spanish, so that's why it's interesting this part. When there are some words, for example, when he say lengthy, that's or hath, that like this hath is the same have. When we say have, the verb have.
Okay.
Yes, though, I don't know what in that part, though is
Yeah,
like
it's at the
say
beginning.
you, exactly. So
Mm,
all this is when the subject of the personal pronouns we know, but that's what the old form, the archaic form.
THY?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So exactly about that age. So this some visitor when we say it is, that time they said cheese.
Wow.
So that's some different words. For example, this motor is when we say another word. Synonym might be whisper. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in general terms, what is the main topic of the story, the subject matter of this story? What can you grass on the earth?
Mm, I really don't know nothing about.
Nothing.
No,
It's
sorry.
like idea maybe it's about who are the main protagonists.
I think it's the Raven.
Raven.
I think because he's tapping his door.
Exactly. Do you know what tapping is?
I think knock, like knocking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's about that raven. The
But
raven was tapping. Exactly.
I don't understand the context.
Exactly. Do you have any slight idea about the context, Sandra?
Actually, it is very hard though because like George was saying, like Juan Sebastian was saying, is just what I understood it what somebody was knocking at the door, and I guess he was surprised because I guess he was not expecting that visit if I wasn't, but it was hard for me to understand though.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult at the first time. It's very difficult. So that's why. But you got the same the main point. Okay, it's about the raven. Raven is a bird, and you know this is the whole context about this poem. This is the whole supernatural tale. Okay, this is about the horror story in order to scare people. So this poem is famous for that because this is an horror story of that time. Maybe for some people can cause or feel scared because when you understand the context, it's about that. Actually, the man in the story, how is him? Maybe he's happy, he's stressed, he's sad. What can you maybe understand about it?
I guess he was scared because
Yes,
it's saying something about a ghost on the
exactly.
floor.
Very good. Exactly. The man was scared. The context and the environment. Look at the first sentence. No? Once upon a midnight. So, at what time was the raven tapping at the chamber door? What time was?
At the midnight.
At the midnight. Okay, so that's why the man was scared. What is this word? Nodded or nodded?
It's like
This is when you are very tired and when you are watching TV until midnight and you are not able to keep on, but you are still sitting in front of your TV and you start nodding.
yes, it's like sleeping almost.
It's like almost sleeping, and you are
Okay.
sitting, your head goes from one side to another side, okay? That's
Okay.
nodded. On Spanish, cabecear. That's why he say nearly napping. Napping comes the word to
From nap.
take a nap. That's good. Exactly. Nearly napping. Almost slept. Exactly. Very, very good. So it was in what kind of month? Maybe midnight, the month. December. Exactly, December. And the weather was bad because he said the bleak December. everything, the context, it's that kind. So you are gonna leave this through the eyes of Homero Simpson, Homer Simpson, because I like that chapter. The Simpsons, maybe some people think it's for children, but I don't think so. I think it's for adults.
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
So, but they have some characteristics that sometimes they make chapters based on famous literature. So in this part is about Edgar Allan Poe. So you are gonna watch all this. This is the script of that chapter about this poem, and it's act by Homer Simpson.
Hmm.
So you are gonna laugh when you see the whole context. Can you see my screen now?
No.
No?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Okay, I'm going to share again this part. Alexander, you're very quiet. Let's wait, Diana.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm late
Hello.
again. How are you
Hello.
guys?
Say hello.
Hello,
Good evening, teacher.
Diana.
Partners.
Hello, Diana. How are you doing?
Sorry, I had some.
Hello, Alexander.
Hello, Alexander. Don't worry, we understand. And tell me, Diana,
Yes, sir.
what do you have to tell us? How was your day today?
Um, I arrived to my work at 6:30, and I had to work so hard, and I just finished at 8. I was working so hard because when we have to close the month, we have to do a lot of things and numbers. So that's why I have been working so hard this week.
Okay, it's difficult for all of us. Okay, so we were talking about a famous poem about Edgar Allan Poe called The Raven. Do you know it?
Honestly, no, I don't.
Okay, so we were reading that part, and now we are going to listen the whole poem, or watching a video act where Homer Simpson is the main actor. Okay,
Okay.
so this is that. I'm showing you the YouTube. So can you see my screen on
Yes.
YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I like that part. So pay attention.
The Raven. Once upon a midnight dreary,
While I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door.
To some visitor.
I muttered,
Tapping at my chamber door. Only this and nothing more.
are we scared yet? Bard, he's establishing mood.
Distinctly I remember. It was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow. Vainly I had sought to borrow from my books surcease of sorrow.
Huh?
Sorrow for the lost Lenore,
Oh, Lenore.
for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before. so that now, to still the beating of my heart, I stood repeating,
"'Tis a visitor entreating entrance of my chamber door. This it is, and nothing more."
Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer.
"Sir,
Said I,
or madam, truly your forgiveness I implore. But the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door that I scarce was sure I heard you."
here I opened wide the door.
This better be good.
Darkness there, and nothing more.
"Huh?
You know what would have been scarier than nothing? What? Anything!
Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping, something louder than before.
Surely,
Said I,
surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then what thereat is, and this mystery explore."
opened here I flung the shutter, when with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more.
"Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou
I said,
art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raven wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore."
quoth the raven,
Eat my shorts. Bart, stop it. He says nevermore, and that's all he'll ever say. Okay.
Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed by some unseen scent,
"Stupid censor.
swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor.
Wretch,
I cried,
thy God hath let thee, by these angels he hath sent thee, respite and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore."
quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
"No, be that word outside of parting! Murder fiend!
I shrieked up, starting,
Get thee back into the tempest and the night Plutonian shore! No, leave no black plume as a token of the lie thy soul has spoken! Leave my loneliness unbroken! Quit the bust above my door! Take thy beak from off my heart, and take thy form from off my door!
quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door!
quoth the raven.
Nevermore.
Why, you little...
Oh,
Back here, you little raven!
And the raven, ever flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, and my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore.
Okay, guys. What about now?
Too much clear.
Too much clear. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, it is. And I guess when I was reading, I was like, yeah, it should be something about a bird, but I was not sure.
Exactly.
About the raven.
About the raven. What was the raven's name?
Quoth?
The
Can't
raven's
remember.
name? Not, it wasn't quoth. That was the raven said, quoth. But the final word, it was. What was the reply of the bird? What did the bird say?
Nevermore?
Nevermore, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only word the raven still repeating. Nevermore. I don't know why people got scared in that time, but that was the the kind of horror tales in that part. Okay, this was in order to start our class and practice our reading. If you are able to read this whole poem at that same speed, it's good. If you don't worry. It's only to keep on practicing. And there are many difficult words. I don't know, Diana, what's your opinion? Can you catch some words, or it was difficult for you?
It was difficult. I guess that there's a few words that we don't use as daily basis, so we cannot practice, so we don't hear those words like every day. Yeah, it was kind of hard when you show the exercise. So from the reading, yeah, there was a few words that I don't know what's the meaning for, and when I was listening, yeah, I catch a few ones that I say, oh my god. I mean, we know the context because we're seeing the video and we can tell like the story, but so far, I mean, it was like there's a few words that I don't know what's the meaning.
Exactly. I was explaining that. So there are some words, archive words, so maybe we don't use, but still maybe there may be some people in some parts of, I don't know, far towns in the United States or UK can speak like this, but this is an old vocabulary. We are
That's right.
talking about the 17th century, more or less. So, but the idea that was that. So we can read some different words, and we try to improve our reading skills and listening skills, and that's why I brought this chapter today. Okay, thank you for participating. Okay, in this part, we are going to talk about the past perfect continuous. Okay, so tell me, guys, do you know what past perfect continuous is? How can we form that?
I will be say nope. I mean, I know that if you tell me what it is, I will know. But if you ask me right now, no, I don't.
Okay, Sandra.
I've been thinking about actually maybe we use it, but we don't know uh, the time. I don't know if it's I've been watching. I don't know if it's the correct
Exactly.
example.
It's like the present perfect tense, but in this part, the auxiliary have is in the past. Okay, had been and the verb plus ing. Okay, the gerund. So I'm going to show you different another video with those examples, and you can realize about this part. Okay, I'm going to put this in my screen. Okay. Okay, wait a minute, please. Okay. Okay. So you are going to pay attention to this part. It's only 1 minute and a half, and here it goes.
Then I realized all the stuff that I had been doing, proposing to Joshua, lying to Ross about why I couldn't come to the wedding, was all just a way of...
He had been complaining it was too heavy. I should have listened.
This close family friend had been keeping a secret from you and Hank.
I told him, people have been calling me Blackfish for so long, they don't remember my real name.
I've been abusing Vicodin for years.
No signs that anyone else had been digging in the garden.
Under and behind and inside, everything this man took for granted, something horrible had been growing.
She read that stuff back to me today. It was obvious that Tony Allen was at risk. That I'd been bullying him.
So, I said that I had been telling lies.
I mistakenly supposed that he had been trifling with the young girl's affections.
So, you took it upon yourself to give away $622,000 of my money to a man who had been sleeping with my wife.
Okay, dokie. Okay, that was some examples about what the past perfect continuous is. So in the context, okay. So now we are going to watch another video where there is a more a better explanation about this. So let's pay attention.
From BBC Learning English.
Hello and welcome to 6 Minute Grammar with me, Neil.
And me, Catherine. And today we're talking about the past perfect continuous tense,
which we use to give background information to an event in the past. We'll give you lots of examples.
We'll explain when to use the past perfect simple instead of the past perfect continuous.
And of course, we'll finish with a quiz.
Let's start with an example. Here's Finn.
Joe and Alice got together in 2012. Joe had been living in London for 2 years when they met.
So we use the past perfect continuous to talk about something that was happening before another event or situation in the past. We can use it when we want to say how long this earlier action was happening for.
Now, in this case, Joe had been living tells us what Joe was doing up to the time he met Alice.
That's right. And the later action, when they met, was in the past simple. Let's hear that example again.
Joe and Alice got together in 2012. Joe had been living in London for 2 years when they met.
Here's another example. Which action happened first?
We had been trying to open the door for 5 minutes when I finally found the key.
So, we had been trying, in the past perfect continuous, was the earlier action.
Exactly. Now, sometimes the action or situation that happens first in time comes second in the sentence. Listen to this.
Jack ran the marathon in less than 3 hours. He had been training for it since 2010.
So the past perfect continuous phrase, he had been training, came in the second part of the sentence, but it happened earlier in time.
Yes, and the event that happened later in time, Jack ran the marathon, was in the past simple, and it came first in the sentence.
Right, so here's another sentence. Can you work out which action or event happened first?
He missed the train, which he'd been hoping to catch.
And the earlier action there was he'd been hoping.
That's right. So in that example, the past perfect continuous was in a relative clause, which he had been hoping.
That's quite common with the past perfect continuous. And another common structure to use with past perfect continuous is a time conjunction like this.
After I had been swimming for an hour, I was so cold I had to stop.
So we had after plus I had been swimming.
Yes, and that is the past perfect continuous in relative clauses and after time conjunctions.
Now we form the past perfect continuous with subject plus had been and the present participle of the main verb. So here are those examples again. Finn.
Joe had been living. We'd been trying. I had been swimming.
And for negative sentences, it's subject plus hadn't been and the present participle.
I hadn't been waiting very long when the bus arrived.
And don't forget those short forms. I had becomes I'd. We had is we'd. Had not is hadn't, and so on.
6-minute grammar from the BBC.
And we're talking about the past perfect continuous.
We often use it to give background information about a situation or event that was happening up to another event in the past,
which is usually in the past simple.
Sometimes we can use either the past perfect simple or the past perfect continuous, particularly for activities that continue for a long time, like work, run, or sleep.
So we can say,
Patrick felt refreshed because he had slept all afternoon.
Or we can say,
Patrick felt refreshed because he had been sleeping all day.
But if the earlier action had been completed, then we use the past perfect simple.
I'd already cooked supper when Jan got home.
If the earlier action is incomplete, use the past perfect continuous to focus on the process or the length of time that the action continued rather than the end result.
And now it's time for our quiz. Which is correct? Number 1, A. I'd only been waiting a few minutes when the bus arrived. B. I only waited a few minutes when the bus had arrived.
It's A. We need the past perfect continuous for the earlier action or situation.
Correct. Number 2, A. After they'd been walking for 3 hours, they realized they were lost. B. After they walked for 3 hours, they'd realized they were lost.
And it's A again. The earlier action was the walking, so that's in the past perfect continuous.
Good. Finally, number 3, A. Sam finally bought the car that he'd saved up for. B. Sam finally bought the car that he'd been saving up for.
And this time, both are correct.
That's right. Well done if you got them all right. There's lots more about this on our website. Join us again for more 6-minute grammar. Bye.
Okay, so I hope you have catch the main idea of this video. This is a good explanation. So now, what kind of examples can we have when we form the past perfect continuous? When can we use them?
What I understood is that we can use it when we want to talk about something that was in the past. Like both event was in the past, and we use that to explain the event that was before, earlier. I understood. It's very hard to explain.
No, yes, that's what you understood, and it's okay, okay? It's an event that occurred in the past, okay? So, but it's in another, for example, in this part, we have two parts. The past, the simple past, okay? But the event occurred before that past event, okay? So that's why we can use the perfect continuous, When something starts in the past and continue until another time in the same line of the past. So it's, but we need to speak in past perfect continuous when we can talk about something took some time in the past time. Always, what do you realize about it? We can only make a sentence forming the same structure, but we need to add a past action too. Okay, for example, I can say they had been talking for over an hour before Tony arrived. Okay, so there are two different structures here. The past perfect continuous, but there are another sentence in simple past. Okay, but it's something like, okay, I had been doing this, but something occurred in that part. Okay, so that's why you can, you need to mix those, always those two clauses. Another example can be, I have here, is she had been working at that company for 3 years when it went out of business. Okay, something occurred that the girl had been working in that company for 3 years, but something occurred in that part, so she left, or the company may be broken down or something like that. And the structure is that they actually are have, but in past had been, and the present verb plus ing. Okay, so always it's gonna be that. So the subject and had been talking. Okay, had been working, had been waiting. Is it clear for you so far?
Confusing but clear.
Confusing but clear. So I want to tell you why it's confusing. It's confusing because not always people in the normal speaking speak like that. It's not always used. It's sometimes, hardly ever, and sometimes we speak like that. Because there are some verbs that can be used in this form, and there are another verbs who which don't allow to talk with other verbs, and like desire or wish, so are not allowed in the to do it in this continuous tense. Okay, so I'm going to show you again my screen, and I show you some examples here. Okay. So, Alexander, are you there? No. Diana.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, can you read all those 10 sentences for us, please?
Okay, the first one, I had been working for my uncle. Second one, she had been finishing her homework. Third one, he had been talking for more than 2 hours. The fourth one, they had been completing the project. Then I had been cooking something special for you. I had been working in that firm for many years. We had been loving each other for 20 years. You had been investing in something revolutionary. He had been reading the book. You had been sleeping for more than 14 hours.
Exactly. So those are affirmative statements, okay? So if you realize there are always time involved in that part, and others maybe not, but we can understand the situation. Always there are actions in the past that start in one part but maybe finish during an amount of time. So the word is, how can I transform these sentences in negative? For example, what can I do to transform those sentences in negative form? Maybe George, can you give me an example with this in negative?
I think we can change the subject with had. I think I would say, had I been working for my uncle?
Again, please.
Had I been working for my uncle?
That's interrogative or negative?
Interrogative.
Exactly. But negative, how can you make a negative statement?
I think is I had not been working for my uncle.
Exactly.
I hadn't been working for my uncle.
Exactly.
She hadn't been finishing her homework, for example.
That's good. Exactly. Very good. So the article note.
Okay.
The article note goes between had and been. Okay,
been,
no
yeah.
more. I think there are no problems with that. So, and the number 10, how can you transform this in negative, Sandra?
You had not been sleeping for more than 14 hours.
Exactly. That's good. How about you, Diana?
Which one?
Whatever you want.
Okay. We had not been talking for more than 2 hours.
Exactly. No? And when we speak, we can say we hadn't or we had not, but it's more comfortable. I think we hadn't been talking for more than 2 hours. So this part is negative, okay? An interrogative, only we can change what? George?
I'm here. Tell me.
Okay, now you can do it. Transform in an interrogative statement.
Okay. I would say, had I been working for my uncle?
Exactly.
I say, put the subject between had and been.
Exactly. Only change that part, okay?
Okay.
And then the number 7, Diana, again, please.
Had we been loving each other for more than 20 years?
Exactly. Is it difficult?
No.
No, not here, but when we are speaking, maybe we can do it automatically. So, but this part is only to understand when can we or we can to speak doing this part. Okay.
Teacher.
Okay.
I have a question.
Tell me.
I wrote it on the chat, but I don't know if it's correct because I'm not sure when should we use it. If we use it when we are talking in the past, like in a normal conversation, when is correct to mention to use the past perfect continuous. I wrote it. I wrote like an example. It's like something that happened while we were in class. So is that all right if we can say we had been watching the poem and Alexander joined the group chat? Is that correct?
We have been watching the poem. We have been watching the poem, and Alexander joined the group.
Because
Maybe we can say in this part, we have been watching the poem when Alexander joined the
okay,
group.
okay, okay,
That would be in this part in order to make a good sentence.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. But you got the idea, okay? So this is this kind sometimes is confusing, and don't worry. But that's the main idea. Another use, there is another use. We can use the past perfect continuous before another action in the past. Yes. But in this part, we can talk about the cause and effect. Okay. Something happened, and because of that, this is the result. Okay. For example, I can say Jason was tired because he had been jogging or running. Okay. Sam gained weight because he had been overeating. So there is a cause and there is an effect. This is another when we can use this part, the present, the past perfect continuous, not the present, the past. For example, Carlos failed the final test because he hadn't been attending class. So that's the cause, and there is an effect. So in this part, I think it's easier to understand when can we use this in that part. But always the structure keeps on. For example, there is a clause in the past tense, simple past tense, and the effect is in the past perfect continuous. Okay. Again, for example, I say Sam gained weight because he had been overeating. So always we can join this because, when, okay, or before something occurred. Because this happened because of that part, okay? In order to make some more clear this, we are going to try to read some pictures. Let's see. Think about it. You're going to watch some pictures. Pick one of these, whatever. I'm not gonna tell you, okay, this. You are going to pick one and you are gonna make a statement, okay? You are gonna make a phrase in using the past perfect continuous. So this is some example. Okay. Are you watching my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Think about on each picture. There is a cause and effect, and make a statement. So when you are ready, you can tell me, okay?
Ready?
Okay. You can tell me.
Okay. I picked the third one. I don't know if it's right, but I could say I had been jumping on my couch and now I had a swollen foot.
Okay.
I pitched the same pick.
Okay, George. Yours.
I had been jumping on the sofa when I was fell.
When I was fell or when I fell?
When I fell, sorry.
Exactly. Okay. This part is good. When I fall. Okay. Who else?
Me.
Okay, me.
I chose the first one.
Yep.
The boy had been running when he fell into the pool.
That's good. Had been running when he fell into the pool. That's good. And who else?
I guess me. The girl had been playing with the door when she smashed her brother's hand.
She smashed the hand. Exactly. That's good. So, did you have any troubles with that?
Nope.
No. Can we use them in normal speaking? Yes. When we are speaking those kind of parts, cause and effect, but always in past, okay? Hey, what happened here? Okay, the kid fell into the water because he had been playing near the swimming pool. Maybe, okay? So that's something where we can give some when can we are trying to explain something. Okay. Okay, as I told you, we can mix this with past continuous, or we can compare the past continuous versus past perfect continuous. For example, I can say he was tired. He was tired because he was exercising so hard. So this is an example of past continuous, okay? He was tired because he was exercising so hard. What can you understand when I say that statement? He was tired because he was exercising so hard. What do you understand when you heard that?
I think he was on the gym, hard working, and
and what time? In what time?
In what time? Could be yesterday at the morning, and he was tired yesterday at the afternoon.
I think it would be in different way, okay? Again, he was tired because he was exercising so hard. Okay, okay. The fact that he was tired, but in what moment? Maybe he finished in that moment, okay? That's what we understand in the past continuous, that, okay, I was exercising at the moment, and that's why I'm tired. So, but when I said he was tired because he had been exercising so hard, it's different meaning, okay? He was tired because he had been exercising so hard. The meaning changes. Can you know the difference?
Yes, sir.
Yes, in that part, everything occurred in the past, okay? So maybe 5 minutes before, I just finished doing exercises, or maybe as you said, yesterday, I was working out a lot. This is the main sense that there are another part I want to emphasize in this part. I want your opinion in this part. The next example says, the motorcycle had been belonging to George for years before Tina bought it. Again, I repeat, the motorcycle had been belonging to George for years before Tina bought it. What do you think? Is it good? Is it wrong?
I will say that it's good.
Another opinion? Who agrees? Who disagrees?
I think it's good because it's like something that he had and he had something like he had like the motorcycle before she sold it. Oh, he sold it. She sold it. There. So I think it's a good phrase.
So is it good phrase? Okay. What do you think?
I guess that it's something is not correct on the grammar, but I'm not sure. Because you said that it's supposed to be the subject, the had been, and the verb supposed to be with ing. And you said the motorcycle had been belong. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Okay, yes. That's good. That's what we want. You make opinions, and with all those opinions, we can jump into one conclusion. So, George, what do you think? Again, I say the motorcycle had been belonging to George for years before Tina bought it. Okay?
I think it's good.
Okay. And Alexander, what's your opinion?
Sorry, teacher. Could you repeat that?
Okay. I'm going to write in the chat because I'm tired. Don't worry. Maybe we have some troubles. Look at your chat. Is it good? Is it wrong? What do you think? Alexander.
No.
Don't make me wait too long. One, Alexander, 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, teacher. Okay. I don't see anything in the chat.
No? Oh, my friend. But it's not my chat, it's your chat. Open the chat. Where do you live, Alexander?
I think he said Ciudad Bolivar, but I don't remember if it was correct or not.
Where do you live, Alexander? I think it's too far because the connection is too slow. Okay. I'm gonna explain why it's not correct. Okay, and here in this part, there are some, when we use some non-continuous verbs, there are some verbs that we can use in the continuous form, okay, such as belong. When we have those kind of verbs, we can use the past perfect, okay, but not the progressive. Because belong, always belong is a continuous action. So that's why we don't say belonging. So the good answer here, it would be the motorcycle had belonged to George for years before Tina bought it. And there are some normal verbs, always when we are usually in physical actions, which you can see maybe somebody doing. Those verbs can be used in all sentences, such as run. I can use in running, walk, walking, eat, eating, fly, flying, go, going, say, saying, touch, touching, and so on. Those are normal verbs that allows to use the continuous form. Another group, the short group with non-continuous verbs, it's a smaller and a small group. Those verbs are usually things you cannot see somebody doing, okay? They are verbs rarely used in continuous tense. Those are abstract verbs. And of course, he includes the verb to be, but in sometimes the verb to be, when we say he's being, is because there are different meanings, okay? Or want, I can say wanting in this part, okay? Or cost, how much is costing that potato? No, how much it cost, okay? Present. Seem or need or care, contain, or this verb, oh, this verb. And I'm going to show you this part. Oh. Okay. Oh. No. This one. Oh. Yes, this can be used always in the continuous form. For example, if I say he's needing help now, is it right or wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong, okay. The right would be he needs help now. He needs. Okay. So there are abstract verbs. There are possession verbs that own, belong, or possess. And an emotion verbs, which explain that, emotions, such as like, love, hate, dislike, fear, envy. Yes? So I cannot say I am wanting a drink. No, I want a drink now. Yes? This is a part I want you to bear in mind. So the BBC page had a lot of topics, including this. But there are another group of verbs that we call mixed verb. So those verbs you can use them in as non-continuous verbs or continuous, okay? When I say, for example, I have an example here, Donna appears confused. Donna appears confused. What I'm trying to say in that part?
That Donna seems that is confused.
Exactly. That's very good. Yes. And the verb in this part is normal, non-continuous verb. But if I use this same verb and I say my favorite singer is appearing at the jazz club tonight.
That's wrong because we cannot use appearing.
Exactly. So in this part, we can use appearing, but it has the same meaning that the last sentence when I say Donna appears confused.
No.
No, yes, it is different meaning. Okay. So here the meaning change. So when I say appears, it's like when a person seems or look like. If I use in continuous form, as when I said my favorite singer is appearing at the jazz, because physically it's gonna give a show. You know, he's gonna perform a show tonight. So that's I want to explain that part. When I say hey, I have $1 now. What I'm trying to tell you, I have $1 now.
In the moment you have the money.
Exactly. So I have in my pocket $1. Okay, I possess $1. But if I say I'm having fun now,
it's how you are feeling.
Exactly. So I'm experiencing such fun. Okay. So that's when the meaning changes. The one in one sentence is about possession, and another is about feeling. Exactly. When I say in this last example, we have only 3 minutes left. I can say she hears the music. So she hears the music. Is physically, okay? Maybe a radio is playing the music and that woman is in that part hears the music. So it's about the sense you have. But if I say she's hearing voices, what would be the meaning?
I guess that the first one example that you said, I don't know if his grammar is good, but if you say like I'm hearing music sounds correctly. For the second example, I guess that is pretty clear. I mean, she has been listening some voices.
Exactly. So if I say she hears the music,
for me it sounds wrong.
And if she's hearing voices,
the context change.
The context change, exactly. So in the first one, okay, I have my normal sense of hearing in that part. So I have my ears, so I can hear everything around me, okay? Everybody hears that, also hears that. Everybody can hear that. But if I say she's hearing voices, maybe those voices are inside their mind. Maybe this girl is crazy or something like that. But because she only can hear those voices, no more, nothing, anything else, okay? So That's why we need to bear in mind that there are some verbs we can use it in doing the continuous part, and other verbs we cannot. We can use it in the past perfect tense, and it's okay. Okay, I think this is the end for today. I have, I don't know, do we have any homework for today? Not.
No.
Okay. But you will.
Oh, just kidding.
Okay, so you are gonna, this is a challenge for you. Do you remember the poem?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes.
The Raven?
The Raven.
Okay. This poem, wait a minute, please. I'm going to give a title to this poem. Raven. And then, what is the challenge? You are going to learn by heart, okay? Do you mean when I say learn by heart?
I
Not
guess
really.
With the real expression, I don't know.
Okay, when you say I learn by heart something, you are going to, exactly, you are going to memorize.
That we don't want to, but we have to.
You are gonna memorize.
Oh my God.
You are gonna use your memory. And it's like have you ever played maybe the tongue twister?
Yes.
Exactly. In this poem, it's gonna be always kind of the same thing, because I want you to speak the one paragraph, only one paragraph. You are gonna try to tell or speak, but with a good speed, okay? Quickly. For example, I can say, once upon a midnight dreary, while he pondered weak and weary over many quainting curious offer of forgotten lore, for example. So that, something like that, in order you to practice this part. That's why I call it a challenge, because I think it's funny, but it's a challenge to learn it. So I want to share the document, maybe through, I don't know if I can send it through this part, and the WhatsApp, to the WhatsApp group. And you choose whatever you want to learn, okay? You are gonna study one paragraph, only one paragraph, and you are gonna try to tell it.
Could you add me to the WhatsApp group, please?
Are you not in the WhatsApp group?
I'm not there.
Okay. And did you send me a message, please?
Okay. Let me see. Have I your number right? 313-702-5902.
Repeat again, please.
313-702-5902.
Yes.
Okay.
And okay, you got it. Maybe for next Thursday or next Monday or next Tuesday. What do you think?
Thursday.
Thursday.
The Thursday. Okay, Thursday. You are a fan of Thursday. So, yes, we are going to try to tell it quickly. I'm going to do the same work. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Juan Sebastian, George. Now I'm going to add you to the group, okay?
Thank you very much.
Okay. Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
And bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Say hello
Bye-bye.
to your family.
Okay.
Well.